Alright, this video is just a demonstration of what an injector is. These are pencil injectors. This is the inlet where the fuel would enter under high pressure from an external pump. An external high pressure pump, inline pump, rotary pump, distributor pump, whatever kind, it doesn't really matter. The fuel travels through here and exits out the orifices on the end of the injector. We can have 2, 4, 8, 9 different orifices on the end depending on what kind of spray pattern we want to have. The excess fuel will return through this leak-off duct and return back to the tank on the low side. Now on the inlet there is a filter that is basically the last chance to prevent any dirt from getting into the system. Alright, now fuel that enters from the high pressure pump in through here actually does not travel straight through. It is off into a little gallery, and the gallery travels down along the side of it. Now I have another one here taken apart, and what you're going to see is 3 holes on that outside face. No fluid comes down under high pressure from here. It actually will come out the smallest gallery right here, drilled into the side of the injector body. Alright, in the center of this top part is where we will find injector shim, and there may be just a single disc, or they may have in there is a set of shims or one shim in order to, what they are trying to do is set the pressure of this spring, alright, because that will determine what the nozzle opening pressure is. Alright, so the spring sets in there, and then there's a spindle, and the purpose of the spindle is the spindle provides a contact point for the end of the small end here of the injector nozzle. Alright, now there is one more part in between, which is just again another connector. You'll see we have 2 large dowels on one side and 2 small dowels drilled in a different location on the other side. The 2 large dowels are going to fit in like such into here, and with them in place you will see that small hole is going to line up with the gallery so that the fuel can continue to travel through the disc and down to the bottom. Alright, when we look at the nozzle body, those are the 2 small holes that the small dowels will line into, and my fuel will travel through here. The fuel will travel down through the side of this into the pressure chamber, which surrounds the nozzle valve here. That pressure chamber, I'll move this up a little closer, that pressure chamber will be right around where there's a slight increase in diameter on the nozzle valve. Alright, so when the pressure builds, it acts on that nozzle valve, and using Pascal's law, the pressure rises until it can overcome that needle, and you'll see that this will actually pass through that disc that we put on, and that acts against the spindle to lift off, and again the spring to lift that off its seat and allow injection to happen. Now you can see this does not have to move off very far. There's only like a few hundred thou that it has to move to get off its seat. Now these are I want to talk about a lapped finish. Alright, the nozzle valve and the nozzle body are a lapped finish. That means that this nozzle valve is designed and sized so that it only fits in the one body. Alright, also the surfaces between each of these mating components has to be exact and fit. If we had any gap in there, or when it's put together, then the fuel would simply leak out there, path of least resistance. So when it is all together and tight, the fuel again enters through from the high pressure side, out through here, or sorry, along the side, down through all of those galleries and passages, down to the pressure chamber, lifts the valve off its seat, and the injection will happen. Now, the hole in the center where the spring was, some of the fuel will go up past the side of the nozzle valve and up through the center and up through the spring and return back through the low pressure port, or the leak off valve. Now, that diesel fuel traveling past there provides a couple of things. It removes some of the heat from the tip of this, because again, keep in mind that this is going to be through the center of my cylinder head into the top of the combustion chamber, so a very, very hot spot. All right, and that heat will travel up through there, so it removes some of that heat. It also lubricates and keeps that nozzle valve and the nozzle body from seizing together. All right, and we simply move that back. All right, that's it.